suddenly, a wild Baldo appears. So growing up, I was pretty big into Nintendo, but then again, who wasn't? I mean, Mario and Zelda? Classic. And as time went on, games became more sophisticated, but so did the players, and because of that, some people began to wonder whether or not the games that we once thought were straightforward might actually have a hidden meaning behind them. So if you've never considered this before, keep watching, because I'm about to give you 10 mind-blowing video game theories. Also, this may destroy your childhood, so sorry. Number 1 is Super Mario Bros. Is a play. This theory says that Super Mario Bros. 3 was all a stage play and that we're the audience. At the beginning of the game, the red curtains open, then during multiple levels, blocks appear to be bolted to a backdrop, and then at the end of every level, Mario exits stage right. This suggests that Mario and his friends are just actors, which makes a lot of sense considering the lack of continuity between games and the fact that there's a Lakitu that follows you around with a camera during Super Mario 64 and every version of Mario Kart. Wait a minute, if Super Mario was all an act, then did I ever really play it? In which case, was my childhood even real? Mama! I don't... Sorry, I almost broke my brain there. I'm okay, let's continue. Number 2 is Earthbound's final boss is a fetus. At the end of the game Earthbound, there's a very memorable boss battle that's extremely bizarre. The theory is that the final boss Gygus is actually a fetus, and since you have to kill him, well, you can kind of put 2 and 2 together about what's going on here. Unfortunately, this makes a lot of sense, because in order to face him, you have to go back in time to his most vulnerable form, and then in order to get to him, you have to go through an opening that looks like a cervix. As if that wasn't disturbing enough, once you're through, you see this. Can you see it? I'll give you a second. How about now? Yeah. Now, believe it or not, there's actually an even darker theory out there about how the fetus got there in the first place, but I'm not getting into that in this video. Now, excuse me while I call my therapist. Number 3 is Metal Gear Solid is just a training simulation. Metal Gear Solid 3 is a popular game that follows the hero Solid Snake into various stealth adventures, except according to this theory, it was all just a training simulation. The idea is that anytime you screw something up in the game or simulation, it ends and you are yanked out of it only to try all over again. There's various pieces of evidence to support this, including at the beginning of the game when one of the characters mishears some dialogue and asks, "Virtual mission?" I think it's funny that some gamers are actually against this theory, like they're angry that if it turned out to be a simulation that all their hard work to save the world was for nothing. Sorry to tell you, Chief, but it's a video game. They're sort of all simulations. Number 4 is Nazism in The Legend of Zelda. In The Legend of Zelda for NES, there's multiple dungeons with various shapes, such as a lion, an eagle, a snake, and a swastika. Yep. Childhood ruined. This theory's been under a lot of debate for a while for 2 important reasons. One is that the shape is not tilted like a Nazi swastika, and the second is that it matches a manji, which is the Japanese symbol for good fortune. But even if this is a manji, it's usually a good idea as a company to steer away from anything that might even be misinterpreted as Nazism. You know, just as a general good rule of practice. Number 5 is the hero in Mass Effect 3 is possessed. The idea behind this theory is that the hero of the game, Shepard, that's been fighting the aliens was actually being possessed by them all along. This theory is based on a couple things. The first is that the longer that you're around the aliens in the game, the more likely you are to be possessed by them, and Shepard was around them for 3 games. The second is that during the game he gets blasted by Reaper energy, which suddenly makes some of the rules and visuals of the game change. There's even a 2-hour fan-made video on YouTube that picks apart every clue to support this theory, which is awesome, except being possessed? Come on, that's a little far-fetched. So far-fetched. Number 6 is that in Final Fantasy VIII, Squall is dead. This fan theory says that in the game Final Fantasy VIII, the main character Squall is actually dead. The idea came from the end of disc 1 of the game when Squall is impaled with an ice shard while fighting a boss and everything fades to black. Some players believe he's dead because at the beginning of the next disc, or the second half of the game, he mysteriously wakes up without any injury. There's also alternative theories out there, one of them being that he's actually in a playable coma. Speaking of playable coma, I can't play games like this because I'm a completionist and I would end up vegetating on the couch for the 90 hours that it takes to find everything in this game. Same thing happened during Super Metroid. It's kind of a problem. Number 7 is the Great Pokémon War. This theory says that there was a great war in which a lot of people died and you get to play as Ash, one of the survivors. It actually kind of makes sense. Ash's father isn't around because he died in the war, his rival Gary is an orphan for the same reason, and there's training centers and hospitals everywhere. And at one point during the game, Lieutenant Surge tells you that an electric Pokemon saved his life during the war. Now, as convincing as this one is, I don't buy it. Mostly because a war? They're Pokemon. How dangerous can they be? I mean, half of them look like a damn marshmallow marshmallow and the most harmful thing they can do is burp or fart at you. Number 8 is Fallout 3 predicts the future. This theory is about how in the 3rd installment of the Fallout game series, there's a radio that was able to predict the future with eerie accuracy. It says that if you kill a certain DJ in the game, there's a radio station that will begin broadcasting from the radio various strings of numbers in Morse code. The creepy part is that apparently the radio was able to accurately predict the death of actor Gary Coleman as well as the exact date of the BP oil spill. Now some people believe this to be a hoax, and I should say so. I mean, nobody could predict the future. Look at my parents, they always said I would grow up to do great things. And now I make videos on YouTube. So, yeah. Number 9 is Majora's Mask represents the 5 stages of grief. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is about how Link loses his fairy friend Navi and he goes looking for her. The theory is that the whole game takes place within Link's mind after he gets knocked out at the beginning of the game, and that everything that happens is based on the 5 stages of grief. Interestingly, not only are all 5 stages represented within the storyline, but they occur in the exact same sequence as real life. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Honestly, I think this theory is brilliant, especially since the full explanation online makes even more sense. The only problem is I was never able to play it, mostly because I was freaked the f*** out by the face on the moon in the game. Look at that! Who designed this game? Freddy Krueger? And number 10, Animal Crossing is about a child-abducting cult. If you've never heard of this game, that's okay, I didn't either. And I kinda wish I hadn't. This game is about a kid that moves into a village full of talking animals and has to work off his debt by doing chores for them. The theory is that the animals actually abducted the kid and are making him their slave. Disturbingly, this bizarro theory actually makes sense for a couple reasons. The first is that the animals never let the kid leave the city, and the second is that you're perpetually in debt because even when you pay it off, they just up it again. Did I mention that the game has no overall objectives or missions? Yeah, weird. I suggest if you don't want to teach your kid about cult activity, you don't let him play this game. Unless, of course, you're a Scientologist, in which case it's par for the course. Anyways, that's all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope your childhood wasn't ruined, because mine surely was. If you want to add me to Facebook and Twitter, the links to those will be in the description along with all my other social networking sites. And other than that, I will see you guys next Saturday with a brand new video. Peace. Hey, you made it to the outro screen. Are you the same person that made it to the outro screen last week? Look at you, you're on fire. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please remember to click the big red subscribe button below to subscribe to my channel. I release a new video every Saturday. And while you're at it, maybe click the like button and share this on Facebook and Twitter, whatever you want. It's all very appreciated. And other than that, I'm gonna go play a little Star Fox because I think that's the only game left that hasn't been ruined from my childhood. So, goodbye now.